Hey there, gardeners! Welcome back to another video. Today, we're looking into something that I know many of you have been asking for. How to create a beautiful yard without becoming a slave to maintenance. Whether you're a busy professional, a new homeowner, or simply someone who'd rather spend weekends relaxing instead of working in the yard, this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how to transform your small yard into a stunning, low-maintenance oasis. Stay with me until the end, because I'll be sharing some game-changing tips that will revolutionize how you think about landscaping. Let's start with smart planning. The foundation of any successful low-maintenance yard isn't about what you plant. It's about how you plan. Let me walk you through the essential steps that most people miss, but that make all the difference in creating a truly low-maintenance space. First, we need to understand your yard's unique characteristics. Take a look at your space throughout the day and notice how sunlight moves across it. Where does water naturally collect after rain? These aren't just interesting observations. They're crucial pieces of information that will guide every decision you make. When I transformed my own yard, I spent a full day just watching these patterns, and it saved me countless hours of maintenance later. Now, here's exactly what to do with these observations. Let's start with sunlight patterns. Those areas that get 6 or more hours of direct sunlight? Those are your prime spots for drought-resistant plants like lavender or native grasses. They'll thrive there with minimal watering. The shadier spots, anywhere getting less than 4 hours of sun. Those are perfect for low-maintenance shade plants like hostas or ferns that naturally grow in woodland areas. For those water collection areas we identified, this is crucial. Don't fight against them. I see so many people trying to redirect water flow, which often leads to endless maintenance battles. Instead, work with nature. Those naturally damp spots? Turn them into rain gardens using moisture-loving plants like Japanese iris or cardinal flower. Not only will this solve your drainage issues, but it also creates a stunning feature that manages itself. Next, let's divide your yard into maintenance zones. This is a game-changer that most people skip. Based on your observations, create 3 simple zones: high impact, moderate care, and minimal attention. Your high impact zone should be the most visible area. Maybe it's right by your entrance, or where you look out your kitchen window. This is where you'll put your showstopper plants, but keep this zone small. No more than 20% of your total space. The moderate care zone might be your seating area or pathway borders. Here's where you'll use hardy perennials and ornamental grasses that only need attention once or twice a season. And finally, your minimal attention zone. This should be the largest portion of your yard. Fill it with native plants, ground covers, or hardscaping elements that practically maintain themselves. Here's a pro tip that saves my clients hundreds of maintenance hours. Create clear boundaries between these zones using hardscaping elements like decorative stones or metal edging. This prevents plants from spreading where they shouldn't and makes maintenance a breeze. Now let's talk about soil. It's not the most exciting topic, but I promise you, it's the secret sauce of low-maintenance landscaping. Good soil means stronger plants that need less attention. Think of it like building a house. You'd never skip the foundation, right? Get a simple soil testing kit from your local garden center. You can also check in the description below on where to buy the best soil testing kits. Now let me show you exactly how to use this kit and, more importantly, what to do with the results. Take samples from different areas of your yard. I recommend at least 3 spots. Because soil can vary more than you'd think even in a small space. Mix each sample with the testing solution, and within minutes, you'll know your soil's pH and nutrient levels. Now, here's what those numbers mean for your low-maintenance garden. If your pH is between 6.0 and 7.0, you're in the sweet spot where most plants can easily access nutrients. But don't worry if yours isn't perfect. I'll show you a simple fix. For acidic soil below 6.0, add lime. For alkaline soil above 7.0, add sulfur. But here's the key that most people miss: don't just sprinkle it on top. Work it into the top 6 inches of soil, and do this in the fall so it has time to settle before spring planting. The real magic happens when we look at soil structure. Grab a handful of your soil and squeeze it. If it holds together but crumbles easily when you poke it, congratulations, you've got good structure. But if it's either too sandy or too clay heavy, here's my tried and true fix: add organic matter, specifically compost. I always tell my clients to aim for a 70-30 mix. That's 70% existing soil to 30% compost. Here's a pro tip that will save you tons of maintenance headaches: create what I call a living soil system. Add a thin layer of compost around your plants every spring, no more than half an inch. This slow feed approach means you won't need to fertilize regularly, and it improves your soil structure year after year. Think of it as a set-it-and-forget-it fertilizing system. One more game-changing trick: before you plant anything, add a layer of mycorrhizal fungi to your soil. You can find this at any garden center or simply purchase via the link in the description below. These beneficial fungi form a natural network in your soil that helps plants access water and nutrients more efficiently. It's like giving your plants their own underground support system. The result? Plants that need less watering, less fertilizing, and less overall care. Remember, investing time in soil preparation now means you'll spend way less time maintaining your garden later. I've seen gardens where good soil preparation cut maintenance time by up to 60% in the first year alone. Now, here's something that might surprise you: the best low-maintenance yards actually start with hardscaping. When I mention hardscaping to my clients, they often think it means creating a sterile, concrete jungle. But let me show you how strategic hardscaping can create stunning, livable spaces that require almost no upkeep. Now, let's talk about plant selection. This is where many people go wrong. They fall in love with high-maintenance plants at the garden center without considering the long-term commitment. Let me introduce you to some plants that give maximum impact with minimal effort. Native plants are your best friends when it comes to low-maintenance landscaping. These plants have evolved over thousands of years to thrive in your specific region. What does this mean for you? It means they'll flourish with virtually no intervention on your part. For example, if you're in the Southwest, desert sage isn't just drought-resistant. It's practically indestructible. In the Northeast, black-eyed Susans will give you months of color without asking for anything in return. Let me share a secret that professional landscapers use: ground covers are the unsung heroes of low-maintenance yards. Imagine never having to mulch or weed certain areas of your garden again. That's what the right ground cover can do for you. I've been using creeping thyme in my designs for years, and it's been a game changer. Not only does it suppress weeds naturally, but it also creates a beautiful carpet of color when it blooms. Now, let's talk about making your yard work for you, not the other way around. The right irrigation system can reduce your maintenance time by up to 80%. I'm not just talking about regular sprinklers. I'm talking about smart irrigation that adapts to weather conditions and your plant's needs. You can find links to buy smart irrigation systems in the description below. The initial setup might take an afternoon, but it will save you countless hours of hand watering and prevent many common gardening problems before they start. Now let's talk about having a maintenance schedule. Let's be realistic. Even a low-maintenance yard needs some attention. The key is knowing what to do and when to do it. I'm going to share my personal maintenance calendar with you, breaking down exactly what needs to be done each season to keep your yard looking its best with minimal effort. Spring is all about setting yourself up for success. One thorough cleanup and system check in early spring will prevent hours of work later in the season. Here's my early spring checklist. Start by checking your irrigation system for any damage from winter freezes. Trust me, finding a broken sprinkler head now is much better than discovering dead plants in July. Turn on each zone for just a few minutes and watch for any irregular spray patterns or leaks. Next, before any new growth starts, trim back any dead foliage from your perennials. But here's a time-saving trick. Don't remove every single dead leaf. Just cut back the obvious dead stuff, and let the new growth naturally push out the rest. This approach saves time and actually protects new growth from late spring frosts. For summer maintenance, I've got it down to just 2 tasks per month. First, a quick walkthrough inspection every 2 weeks. I'm talking 15 minutes tops. Look for any signs of pest problems or diseases. Catching these early means you won't have to deal with major interventions later. Second, after each inspection, do one focused task, either deadheading spent blooms or trimming back any overly enthusiastic growers. That's it. No need for weekly mowing or constant pruning if you've set up your yard correctly. Fall is when most people go overboard with cleanup, but I've got a minimalist approach that actually benefits your garden. Don't rush to remove every fallen leaf. Instead, use your mower to mulch them right into your lawn-free fertilizer. For your planting beds, leave the leaves. They provide natural winter protection and break down into nutrients for your soil. The only leaves you need to remove are those on your hardscaping or those that are smothering low-growing plants. Winter is your garden's rest period, and it should be yours too. Focus on just 2 things. First, after any heavy snow, gently brush off evergreen shrubs to prevent branch breakage. Second, use this time to maintain your tools. Clean them, sharpen them, and oil any moving parts. Well-maintained tools make every job easier when spring comes around. Here's my secret weapon for staying on track. I use my phone's calendar app to set monthly reminders for specific tasks. I keep these tasks to a maximum of 2 hours each weekend. If something takes longer than that, it's a sign that your garden isn't as low maintenance as it could be, and we might need to revisit the design. Remember, the goal of a low-maintenance yard isn't zero maintenance. It's smart maintenance. By following this schedule, you're actually preventing problems rather than solving them, which means less work overall. Most of my clients spend just 4 to 6 hours per month maintaining their yards using this system, compared to the 20+ hours they used to spend. Before we wrap up, let me save you from some costly mistakes I see people make all the time. The biggest one? Overcrowding. I know it's tempting to pack in as many plants as possible, but trust me. Giving your plants room to grow will save you hours of pruning and replanting later. The second major mistake I see is what I call the collection syndrome. Trying to grow one of everything you love. While it's tempting to have lots of variety, each different plant species has its own maintenance needs. Instead, choose 3 to 5 types of plants and repeat them throughout your design. Not only does this create a more cohesive look, but it also streamlines your maintenance routine. You'll learn exactly what these few plants need and become an expert at caring for them. Here's another costly mistake: ignoring your climate zone. I had a client who insisted on planting Japanese maples in an exposed, windy area. Despite my advice, they went ahead and spent 3 years fighting a losing battle before finally replacing them with wind-tolerant natives. Always check your hardiness zone and stick to plants that naturally thrive in your climate. They'll need far less protection, feeding, and care. The fourth mistake is what I call edge creep. Not installing proper borders between your lawn and garden beds. Without strong edging, grass constantly creeps into your beds, creating endless maintenance headaches. Here's how to do it right. Install edging that goes at least 4 inches deep and rises 1 to 2 inches above ground level. I prefer metal edging for its durability, but robust plastic options work well too. The key is making sure it's properly anchored. Number 5 is a big one: improper irrigation setup. So many people install sprinklers without considering plant placement and water needs. You'll end up with either overwatered or underwatered plants, leading to constant adjustments and plant replacement. Instead, group plants with similar water needs together and use separate irrigation zones for each group. And please, don't put spray sprinklers right next to your house. That's asking for foundation problems. Finally, there's what I call the set and forget mistake. Assuming that low maintenance means no maintenance. Even well-designed yards need some attention. The key is regular small tasks rather than massive seasonal overhauls. Set a reminder for a monthly 30-minute garden walkthrough. This simple habit will help you spot potential issues before they become major problems. Here's a bonus tip I usually only share with my consulting clients. Take photos of your yard every month for the first year. This visual record helps you track what's working and what isn't, making it easier to adjust your maintenance strategy as needed. Plus, it's incredibly satisfying to see how your space transforms over time. There you have it, friends. Your blueprint for creating a beautiful yard that doesn't demand all your free time. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate maintenance entirely. It's to work smarter, not harder. With the right planning, plant selection, and systems in place, you can have a gorgeous yard that practically takes care of itself. If you found value in this video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to join our growing community of smart gardeners. I'd love to hear about your low-maintenance success stories in the comments below. I know many of you will be looking for the products I've mentioned throughout this video. I've listed all my recommended tools and materials in the description below, from that game-changing soil testing kit to my favorite low-maintenance plant varieties and the professional-grade edging materials. So make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching till the end and see you in the next video.